welcome to the Patriot Hour for Friday, May 10th, right? Is it May 10th? Yep, May 10th, 2019. All right, we got some breaking, just all kinds of crazy stuff going on that we need to touch base on and go over. All right, if you're new to the channel, thanks for joining in. Thanks for giving us some time. We know you're busy. We know your schedules are hectic. It's Friday. Traditionally, some of you work on Monday through Friday. It is Friday. All right, TJIF. All right, we're going to jump into a few things on the Q drops, some older ones on John Kerry. But other than that, we got a few other articles. I want you guys to check out the opening monologue on Hannity. Mark Levine was on, and he just laid it out pretty good. And actually, Hannity doesn't even get a minute to talk through this Levine thing, and that's all we're going to kind of watch, but we might get a second here of Hannity in the very beginning of this. But here, let's check this out.
All right, we have new breaking news, by the way. Jim Comey, former disgraced FBI director, actually says, well, it's likely that Trump could have committed crimes and he may be charged after his time as president because of longstanding Justice Department policy that is against indicting a sitting president. Let me just cue in Mr. Comey about one little fact here. The Attorney General was clear in his expressing that was not Mueller's consideration, that constitutional issue, in fact, was not in play, that based on the merits, there was no indictable offense, period. It's interesting to come out on a night where John Solomon just broke the news that, in fact, Jim Comey, who signed the first FISA application with the bulk of information being Hillary's bought and paid for dossier, that the FBI was warned days before about the dossier, and that Hillary paid for it, Steele hated Trump, and it wasn't verified. All right, joining us now with reaction to all of this, author of Unfreedom of the Press, which is coming out very soon. He hosts Life, Liberty, and Levin right here on the Fox News Channel, host of Levin TV, nationally syndicated radio. I call him the great one, Mark Levin. Mark, you used to be you worked for Ed Meese. You were his chief of staff. Okay, you talked at length about longstanding policy about indicting a sitting president. Barr said it had nothing to do with it. Barr said Mueller had no consideration to do with it.
Right.
So Comey, who we now know the FBI was informed fully about the dirty dossier, he signed the first FISA warrant. To me, he's the one in legal jeopardy, ironically, and not the president.
All right. What ought to happen here is there ought to be a grand jury impaneled. Comey should give testimony. McCabe should give testimony. Baker should give testimony. Stroke, Page. The whole cabal should be giving testimony. They should get a little bit of their own medicine. We should have a criminal grand jury, and we should have either a special counsel or a United States attorney take charge of this case and get to the bottom of it. Put these people under oath and let them get the Donald Trump treatment. We want all their documents, no privileges, nothing. Drag them in, and maybe drag their kids in, too. But I wanted to talk about something else, because Nancy Pelosi is quite ubiquitous these days. She's barely coherent. She is a constitutional illiterate, but that's the person they chose as Speaker of the House. And I got to thinking, she's very, very rich. She's a multimillionaire. I don't really care about that. She has a husband people don't even know. His name is Paul Pelosi. He's a San Francisco real estate developer. He's a financial investor. Tell me, how did the Pelosi's make their money?
Freaking ad.
Michael Chandler.
I'll let that get over. Chandler versus Pitbull.
At B&H, we found a way for you to save the tax. Have to have the latest Sony camera and save the tax? You got it. Need the...
Tell me, who do they know? Are there any foreign interests? Have we seen their bank accounts? Have we seen their tax returns? I'm curious, because Nancy Pelosi, like Eva Peron today, she announced that we make the laws in the House of Representatives, and I need to remind the Speaker of the House, actually you don't. You pass bills, and they're not laws until they go through the Senate, and the President signs them. That's how the system works. But I'd like to know about all their connections, how they got so rich. I really would. What we have here is an attack on the president, an attack on his family. Collusion, special counsel, contempt, obstruction, constitutional crisis. I just started writing them down. Impeachment, tax returns, bank accounts they want. They've already leaked some of his tax information. They accuse him of campaign violations. They accuse him of being a racist and anti-Semite, mentally unfit for office. Let me tell you what's going on here. The Democrat Party has hijacked the House of Representatives. This is an opposition research campaign. They're working for whomever the Democrat nominee is. If they can impeach the president, they'll impeach the president. What they're trying to do is drive down his ratings to get him under 30%, and then they'll go for impeachment. Otherwise, they'll act like he should be impeached. They'll talk about a constitutional crisis. These are the talking points now. They create the conflicts. They create the issues. They create the confrontation. They issue scores and scores of subpoenas. 6 committees. The committee chairman, as I speak, are meeting in dark in some shadowy room, trying to figure out how to bring down the President of the United States, how to embarrass him. They go after his businesses. They go after his son. They go after his associates. They go after his counsel. They go after him. What is the purpose of all this? Oh, well, we want to know if the IRS is working. Let me tell you a secret. The IRS isn't working. It never works. So that's not an issue. Well, we want to make sure there isn't any foreign collusion. Great. Then all you members of the House and Senate, you cough up your tax returns and your bank accounts so we can make sure you're not in the back pocket of some third world country. Well, we just want to make sure our financial system works. Well, let me tell you something. It works. You don't work. The debt is through the roof. Everybody can see through this. And it's not just the federal Democrats. Maryland and D.C., the Democrats get together there. They bring a phony lawsuit, the emoluments clause, because the president has a hotel and foreigners stay there, so he must be making money on the side. Such BS. New York, state tax returns. We're going to pass a bill of attainder, which is federally unconstitutional. What is that? A law aimed at one citizen, the president. We're going to turn his state tax returns over to Congress. Let me tell you what's going on. This is a Democrat Party cabal trying to reverse the 2016 election, trying to disenfranchise 63 million voters, mostly Republicans, independents, and some Democrats, led by a Speaker of the House from San Francisco, a chairman of the House Judiciary Committee from New York, the chairman of the Oversight Committee from Baltimore. 3 or 4 blue cities trying to change the course of this country, trying to reverse the course of the election. And let me tell you, they keep saying the American people want. They don't represent the American people. They keep saying they're following the Constitution. They're shredding the Constitution. They don't even know what's in the Constitution. It is we who are standing up to this cabal, this rogue activity. It is we who are standing up for the Constitution. And let me tell you something.
Mark.
They are playing with political fire. There are tens of millions of people who are not going to stand for this. And they are going to vote. They're going to become more active than ever before. And they are going to not only lose the presidency, they will lose the House. We will strengthen the Senate. And then maybe we'll subpoena the hell out of them. And then maybe we'll have special counsels against them. Because if they want to use Soviet tactics against Republicans, then the only way the Democrats know to stop is if Soviet tactics are used against them. That's it.
When's the book out?
The book comes out May 21. People can pre-order it on Amazon.com.
All right. Gave him that little plug for his book. Great stuff there. I don't know if I could say it any better, but that is true, folks. You know, this whole collusion or issue of, we're not just worried about Trump, Russia. We're not just worried about Russia interference, which, by the way, was all under Obama. He was president when Trump was running. So if there was any interference, what did he do to stop it? And we actually know from articles that he had put stop stand downs on the cyber defense to do things. They didn't want to affect anything. He was too worried about hurting Hillary. So he didn't, that's the going words around that. Anyway, we'll find out more. But we need, I think, a journalist hit up all of, at least Congress and asked for all of their returns. Only like 16 out of the 400 plus members responded like they would, or maybe they did. And we'd have to look into that. Don't quote me on that exact number. Under 20 actually might have turned over their taxes out of 400. So a lot of, and then ones that were questioned, I can go back and find the footage on, like Pelosi's like, well, we don't do that. That's something that the president needs to do. We don't. No, we're not just worried about the presidents of the United States colluding with foreign entities. We're worried about all of you, every bit of government, anyone doing businesses. It's not just, the president that shouldn't be doing anything wrong. All right. It's all of you. We got John Kerry going around meeting with people. Here, let's pull these up. So Q Post 1317, John Kerry secretly meeting with Iran to salvage a deal back in the 4th of May of 18. All right. What did Trump just say yesterday? So Riri drops today, JK, John Kerry and Iran. Important context for future news, which Trump just came out yesterday and started talking about. He sat there and called out John Kerry, the Logan Act. And I have a video that I went over this back in May of about a year ago. Literally a year ago. So why is Hussein and John Kerry traveling worldwide and meeting with foreign heads of state, some enemies of the U.S.? HRC, Bill Clinton, flying under the radar. Same, unreported. Why? 2 former presidents, Secretary of State, out of power of authority, racing around the world, pre and post POTUS. So before POTUS and after POTUS. All right, before he gets somewhere, they're there. And then after he leaves, they come back. Why? Unprecedented. The world is connected. The world is watching. So 125 of 18. Right here, January 25th, John Kerry reportedly coaches Palestinians not to yield to Trump in peace talks, spurring backlash. So this POS, right? Folks, the Logan Act was put into place way back in the day, 1799, to stop people that are foreign, or not foreign, but past, officials that no longer hold any position in the current government. That's John Kerry right now. He's going around, and you can speculate. We can just say something. I don't know if this is true, but let's just say he goes over to Iran and says, don't talk to Trump. In 2020, Biden's going to be back in. You're going to want to wait to deal with Biden. So just blow him off. Don't do this. Don't listen to him. Don't call him. So Trump was saying he said. The only response he had yesterday, and I don't even need to pull it up, but he said, what Trump's saying is not true. End of story. That was his response. So here's a guy that's accused. Could Trump use that? Trump-Russia collusion. No, that didn't happen. End of story. No, it's not the end of story, Trump. We're going to have 4 investigations, 2+ years. We're going to do all this stuff. This guy here, hey, you're charged with murder. No, I didn't do it. End of story. Move on. So here's a guy accused of violating the Logan Act, going over. So it's like, well, did you go over to Iran? Yes. Did you talk to their officials? Yes. But I didn't violate any law. I didn't do this or that. He can try to tell us. And again, here's another case of Hillary. We're pointing the finger. We want things, but she can't provide it. But she just wants to tell us how it went down, tell us how it works, and for us to swallow every bit of it up and believe it. And that's it. You're not going to get any more. Listen to me. I'm telling you what it is. And believe me. Okay. No thanks, buddy. Former Secretary of the State John Kerry reportedly tried to meddle in the Middle East peace talks, allegedly telling a close associate of Palestine Authority President Mohammed Abbas not to yield to President Trump's demands. Israel news outlet Mariv reported an apparent meeting between Kerry and Hussein in London, where the 2004 Democratic presidential nominee also reportedly floated a possible encore bid in 2020. But in conversation, Kerry reportedly told Aga to share a message with Abbas, urging him to hold on and be strong during talks with Trump administration and play for time and not yield to President Trump's demands. So this being that it was back then, and he was setting the stage to like, don't deal with Trump. He's going to, in Kerry's mind, he was going to be impeached at some point. And then they'd get their person in, and then they can do some business. The New World Order way, the agenda way. All right. So for anybody out there having doubts that Trump's not trying to do the right thing or his past connections, that's all fine and dandy. Again, I just don't see the New World Order doesn't want fences. They don't want sovereignty. They don't want they don't want the world dealing with Trump because it's the opposite agenda of what they want. So this just doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense to think anything else other than, if we have an opportunity to have a couple of good years, I'm not going to stand idle. I'm not going to sit here and real quick side note, somebody chimed in on a video the other day, just a comment ran. I don't even know the screen name or their YouTube username, but it was, this ain't happening. Everyone in government's bad, blah, 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 blah. So, and it's like, okay, and I don't even want to slam that person to say that they're wrong, they don't know nothing. I'm just going to say, okay, we've gone over this before. If you've searched and studied and know the New World Order plan, one world government, one currency, all of that, and then you see what Trump's doing, it doesn't really mash up. So then you can come to some other theories like, well, he's doing this to do that. Or I don't know that guy's point. If you wanted to take some people that would maybe watch our videos here at the Patriot Hour and get people to be like, yeah, this guy's right. I'm just, do you not research anymore? Do you not have a glimpse? If you see a glimpse of hope, do you sit back and say, nope, everything's a sham? It's like, as this keeps progressing, hey, you're not going to be paying taxes anymore. Oh, that's a New World Order tactic. We're going back to tariffs where we're charging these other countries. Oh, that's a New World Order tactic. I mean, when it does get to that point, let's say, for example, we get back to paying very little or none income taxes, are the people that are against Trump or think that it's some kind of New World Order thing, are you still going to voluntarily maybe pay your taxes the exact same rate you're paying now? Maybe there's paperwork, because there always is, like, nobody pays taxes. But if you want to, here's some voluntary forms, and you can still fill those out because his agenda is driving you into a New World Order, and you can't do it. Folks, if this is a fork in the system and it only lasts for 8 years, enjoy it. Of course, evil will be back. Of course, there's already a bigger plan in the mix. I get it. That's going to happen. I get it. Can't stop that, but you just don't know where we're at in the big scheme of things. When is this actual World War III or possibly, that final battle? Evil will always come back. I get it. Is it 100 years away or is it 2 years away? I don't know, but I will not sit back and be idle. If there's a chance to have a little bit of freedom, a chance to win back, to get some bad people to go down that I perceive to be bad people, that I think by following well before the queue and where this is leading to, hell yeah, I'm jumping on board. I just don't see it any other way. I'm not going to partake in any of the, Trump's stopping human trafficking. That's got to be some kind of New World Order scheme. Everything just sounds decently or good. Folks, I get it. We got Obama in. Did he trash talk Bush before him? Yes, a little bit. There would be times, well, the Bush administration, but it was never Bush committed treasonous acts and he's going to go down for it. They never went after each other. That was the scheme. That was the Republican, Democrat, New World, deep state all playing along. They had titles and names and it looked good. This isn't the case. You got everybody going around subverting, pointing at Trump. They've accused him of being a racist, tax fraud, business dealings, colluding, Russia, election rigging. It's every single thing that they've done. There's probably people there, hey, can we start yelling murder, that he's done murder? Because quite a few of us have done that over here. So we got to get that out on them. They're just like throwing projections of things they've done, because at the end of this, that's their main goal, is to have so much talk that you were confused. And it's like, wait a minute, I thought all I heard was Trump Russia for 3 years. Why is Hillary getting arrested for Russia stuff? No. This Trump guy's got to be bad. He's got to be pulling something because I know that it was Trump and Russia. Why? Because that's all you heard for 3 years, repeatedly pounded into your head. All right, we'll finish up this article. But in the conversation, Kerry reportedly told this Aga to share the messages with Abbas, urging him to hold on, be strong during talks with Trump and just play for some time and not to yield to Trump's demands. Kerry, who served as former President Barack Obama's Secretary of State during his second term, took over for Hillary, also reportedly told Aga that Trump would not be in office for long, suggesting he could be out in about a year. See that? So again, these people take over jobs like Hillary, who just got done being Secretary of State. Did this new guy come in and maybe dig into a little bit? Oh, it's not his job. He came in and covered up. Nothing, just to take over what Hillary was doing, business as usual. These are their puppets that one after another come in and take seats, and people get moved around. If you look at all these players that just did the whole Mueller investigation and look where they were all at before and where they've come from and who they were working for, the original Bill Clinton back then, and did some stuff for Obama, and some of them disappeared for the Bush administration for those couple of years. It's just ridiculous. According to the report, Kerry used derogatory terms when referring to Trump and offered to help the Palestinians create an alternative peace initiative. He reportedly asked Abbas not to attack the U.S. or the Trump administration, but rather focus attacks on the president himself. So peace between Palestinians and Israel is more possible after Jerusalem move, Pence says. That's some other article. One prominent Trump ally, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, voiced disbelief at the reported comments on Thursday. Kerry knows, as former Secretary of State, a former U.S. Senator, that the kind of advice would be stunningly unpatriotic. And I don't think John Kerry would do something like that, Gingrich told Fox and Friends. I hope he wouldn't. I would be very, very surprised if a former Secretary of State, a former U.S. Senator, would have said anything that was overtly anti-American. The White House did not immediately respond to Fox News' request for comment on Kerry's alleged remarks. The State Department told Fox News they would decline to comment. It is unclear whether Abbas plans to take Kerry's advice, but the Palestine leader already has drawn the scorn of the Trump administration. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley used a UN Secret Council meeting Thursday to slam Abbas over recent remarks he gave in which he allegedly rejected any U.S. role in peace talks. We will not chase after Palestinian leadership that lacks what's needed to achieve peace, she said. Kerry's meeting with Palestine Authority representatives comes just 1 month after the Trump administration decided, after years of promises, to recognize Jerusalem as a capital of Israel. So Vice President Pence this week, this is an older article from January of 18, I believe. So Pence, Palestine talks, is following the decision and noted that the State Department would begin the process of moving the U.S., this has all happened, U.S. Embassy to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Pence said Monday the embassy would be open next year ahead of schedule, and it was. This week, Pence also fired back against accusations that the controversial announcement made the peace process impossible and breached the trust with Palestinian leadership. The truth is, the Palestinians walked away from negotiations for peace with Israel since 2014. It's time for the Palestinians to come back to the table. Pence told Fox News this week the reality that President Trump made a promise to American people, and he kept that promise in recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Pence added, "We've made no determination on the final status of boundaries of any peace agreement, and if both sides come together and agree, we'll accept a two-state solution." According to Israel media, Arab leaders in Davos expressed hope they could resume peace talks, despite the Jerusalem controversy. Okay, so there are some more Spygate things. You got all these different posts, folks, going back to 18 May. This is about a year ago, this one that is kind of funny. This will be future news, and then about a year later, all right, we got a mirror going on there. We got the talks last year, and here it is coming out. Huma and Obama. Got a JK in there. Why was JK in Saudi Arabia? Why did JK travel to Saudi Arabia recently? Why was there a recent smear campaign against John Kerry and POTUS? Is that John Kerry? Or Jared Kushner? Some of these can be Jared Kushner, huh? Repeats. Okay, so we know that this is John Kerry, though, because when you click that, it gives you that, or that article is what I went into, all right? John Kerry. All right, we're at the 25-minute mark. I'll keep this a little longer than we normally go, but I want to do another one. I just want to shut this one down. I got something totally different I'll go over. Again, I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you worldwide. Thanks for joining in. Make sure you're subscribed. Take a look in the description box down below. All the links that we go over are down there. The Q Map, QAnon Pub is available to go over all these older Q posts. People are like, oh, where's Q? Where's Q been? Sometimes when you get that gap like that, and we got lots going on, folks, all he can be doing now is narrating. We've been told May kickoff. I'm already just having a hell of a time showing all the videos. It's almost like this is cruise control now. You're going to see a lot of videos of me when I see something, and now they're starting to buckle down on that on YouTube. I'm going to be mirroring them, whatever I can do to get that information. I know not all of you have can see all the little things, and if I can put them together, let me know if you like that down below. Sometimes it'll be a 2-minute clip. Sometimes it's 5 or 6 because you need to hear all that. And don't think that things aren't happening. I know that the arrests haven't happened yet, but man, now we got a lot more people in the mainstream. Some of these people coming out and just calling it like we've been saying all along for the last 2 years, where this is pointing at and what's going on. People will go down. If not, our Constitution means nothing. Might as well shred it up and just throw it away. Literally, not that I mean that like I want to do that. I'm just saying if justice doesn't happen. This is the whole reason we have all these rules and laws. It looks like an infestation to the highest levels, which we've always known. All right, again, I'm Mike. We'll see you back here real soon on the next Patriot Hour update video. Have a great morning into your afternoon.